dog FPV. If you're familiar with my channel, you've seen the review that I did on the Beta FPV Beta85x HD, and at the time when it was first released, it was supposed to be 4S capable, and they had some failures with customers where they were overheating. The ESCs were overheating and in some cases burning out, and so they sent out a bulletin saying that no, you only should run this in 3S with 3S batteries instead of 4S. So then they changed their documentation and said it was only 3S capable and not 4S capable. This has been a great little HD cine whoop for me, and I continue to fly it. I had the opportunity to be part of a beta program. I had to pay for a new flight controller, although I did get it at a discount. It's the new Flight Controller and ESC board that's supposed to be capable of 4S. So I think they're going to be start putting this particular stack on the Beta85x HD. What they did was looks like they changed the connector here, which is pretty nice because then you can create a little wire harness instead of having to solder directly onto the board. But they also beefed up the ESC. What they did, they changed the MOSFETs on the board, and they basically it's able to handle higher current, and also they added a current sensor on the ESC board. In addition, on the flight controller, they went ahead and changed the BEC on it from 2 amp from a 2 amp BEC to a 3 amp BEC. So they beefed that up so that you have a little more current handling capability on the flight controller. In addition, it was part of the Beta85x HD program. They included these new motors, which are lower kV than the original ones. These happen to be the 5000 kV down from, let's see if I can get that in focus, 5000 kV versus 6000 kV on the original Beta85x HD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and build up another one of these, and I'll show you how this goes together, and we'll see how this thing flies, and we'll be running this with 4S batteries, and hopefully it'll go well. So before I assemble this thing, I wanted to show you what the back of the ESC board looks like, and the connectors, and you can see the beefier MOSFETs here and the ESC's chips on there. I'll also get you a weight. It's 13 grams. So here's the finished product. I have the props installed, the new motors. I basically built this from scratch, and I thought it turned out quite nice. I went ahead and used a TPU canopy that I downloaded from Thingiverse. I'll link that below, and please tip the developer on that. And went ahead and installed the VTX. I didn't solder on the AXE mini stubby. Maybe I'll do that later, but I just used the dipole antenna that came with the VTX, and I'm gonna weigh this thing up to see how it compares to the original. The other thing I did use a glass lens here so that I can use the ND filter from Caddx that you can just put on the top of this, and that's another reason why I use the TPU canopy. And then plus this TPU canopy allows you to adjust the angle of the camera, but with this glass lens I can fit the ND filter. I'm using an ND8. So I'm gonna start with flying without it, see what the jello looks like, and then I'll add this later to clean up any jello that there's in the video. This is the battery I'm going to be testing out. This is a GNB 4S 520 mAh battery. The PID tuning that I left alone because I'm a beta tester, so I left the tune as set by Beta85. The only thing I did was change my rates. They're running 3.5.7 beta flight version. And again, the only thing I changed was the my rates and the feed forward transition, and I'll show you on the screen above here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a maiden flight with this thing, and I'll tell you my thoughts. And I'm going to be running this thing really hard as they requested to see that the 4-in-1 ESC holds up to 4S. So here are my final thoughts on the Beta85 4S flight controller and 4-in-1 ESC. The build was relatively easy. I like the new connectors that they put on the flight controller board. It's pretty much solderless, except for you gotta solder on the receiver and the VTX. But other than that, it was pretty much plug and play with the wire harness that they had. So that worked out well. I did take it out and abused it. I did 20 full throttle punch outs with flips and rolls, line of sight. Then I took it out and did some FPV, and was doing full throttle maneuvers, including barrel rolls, front flips, split S's. It did quite well. It was slightly windy, about 7 miles an hour wind at the time. And when I landed it, the motors were stone cold. So, the tune that they had on it was good. I mean, I did have one washout on a dive, but it was pretty minor. It is only running Betaflight 3.57, so I'm sure they'll come out with a 4.0 tune, but the tune that they had actually was pretty good. So I'll go ahead and show you some video. I'm going to continue to run this, but so far it held up quite well on 4S, and I think they solved the problem with this new flight controller and 4-in-1 ESC. So with that, thanks for watching, and here's a short video of my flight.